Hi everybody, this is Martha Creek, marthacreek.com, and I'm using materials today that are provided by healthycongregations.com, specifically leadership. Not just in congregations, but leadership in general. This is called Presence and Functioning, the Qualities of Leadership. So as I go through these, I want you to imagine your life if you were actually doing these things. Number 2 is to regulate your own anxiety. This means put the oxygen mask on me first. You know, you've heard the thing on the airplane. Before you can help another person, you need to regulate your own anxiety. It's why in emergency rooms on the chart of what to do first, step 1 is regulate your own pulse. So before I can help another human being or bring any calm or clarity or coherency to a situation, then it's necessary for me to regulate my own anxiety. Again, it sounds easy. So think about it in the terms of animals and how close we are to the animal species. So if there's a herd of cattle and one touches an electric fence, for example, startles it, it's been shocked, and it starts to stampede. It'll just run to get away from the enemy, the electric fence. Without thinking, without any cause or any cause in reality, the entire herd will stampede after this one cow. So they did not experience shock, they were not hurt, there was no enemy to them, but because of our herd mentality and how close we are to the animal species, we also will herd in effect. So somebody's panicked, mad, upset, and they're going to go the other way without pausing to think, pausing to see, is there any real threat in the field here? Is there a reason to be running or stampeding or leaving a scene? Without that pause, we lived from this regressed state, the animalistic brain, referred to as the reptilian brain, the teeny little part of the brain that only has a repertoire of 3 options: to fight, to flight, and to freeze. And in that example, that would be the flight mechanism. So the question's not, do I do this? Yes, it's instinctual, hardwired, automatic. Even it seems like I didn't have any control over it. Like it's such a knee-jerk reaction and such a patterned response that it felt like I didn't even have control. And you hear people say this, like, I didn't have control. I didn't know what I was doing. So this is what we're dealing with here. And the power of this thing, so innate, so instinctual, so automatic. So to say regulate my own anxiety is no little thing. To be able to build a pause in there when I get triggered, when I get upset, affronted, afraid, panicked, terrorized, humiliated, embarrassed, any emotion that arises, to have an automatic pause in there. So before I speak, pause. Before I defend, pause. Before I go to war with you, pause. Before I go silent or withhold, whatever our patterned ways of being are, to put the pause in there first. So how can I get calmer? Deep breath, count to 3. Remember, this is a human being here. So the enemy that's in front of me is actually often someone I actually care about. So to stay coherent, more present to the field. So how are ways that you can regulate your own anxiety? So how can you be calmer even when other people are not calm? How can you be a calming influence in a herd mentality when they would stampede or run the other way? How can you be a calmer, less anxious presence in situations like that, whatever they are in your life, your workplaces, your family, with your children, your marital, spousal relationships like that? How to be a circuit breaker for anxiety. So instead of joining in, commiserating, colluding, hurting with them, how to be a circuit breaker instead. Imagine what it would be like if you could. If you actually could employ that. If you actually had some practice at being that circuit breaker. So as we continue through the list, I believe if we do just one of these, when in situations where I'm able to do just one of this long list, it changes the entire reality. It changes the whole scene. It changes my experience of my life. It changes relational dynamics and makes for a lot easier and happier life as well. A heartfelt thanks to Healthy Congregations for the basis of this material. You can find out all about them at www.healthycongregations.com. A plethora of resources, audio, how to be a member, free books, things like that.